There's a hidden line that separates abundance from scarcity, wealth from poverty, success from failure. It's a line not drawn by chance, not carved by fate, but constructed by the very thoughts and habits we choose daily. Understand this clearly. Poverty and wealth are not accidents. They're not random events imposed by luck or destiny. They're outcomes created by decisions, by mindsets, by deeply rooted patterns repeated day after day. Napoleon Hill spent his lifetime studying the minds of the wealthiest people in history, people like Andrew Carnegie, Thomas Edison, Henry Ford, and after decades of careful observation, Hill discovered one harsh truth. The poor do things the rich never do, not by circumstance, but by choice. This truth may sting, it may discomfort, but within that discomfort lies your liberation. If you're tired of living below your potential, if you're exhausted by financial struggle, then this truth is exactly what you need, because before you can rise, you must first see clearly what holds you down. The first habit that poor people embrace, that rich people never entertain, is blame. The poor blame everyone and everything except themselves. They blame the economy, the government, their parents, their education, their circumstances. They externalize responsibility, giving away the very power they need to rise above their limitations. The rich, on the other hand, assume responsibility, full responsibility. They don't see challenges as barriers. They see them as opportunities to learn, to grow, to strengthen. They recognize that their circumstances don't define them. Their choices do. When Henry Ford faced failure after failure, he never pointed outward. He looked inward, took responsibility, and innovated his way forward. He understood clearly that his future was not in someone else's hands. It was in his own. Poor people wait for the perfect moment. They wait for conditions to be just right. They hesitate, they stall, and they procrastinate, endlessly delaying action because of fear disguised as caution. But rich people, they move decisively, swiftly, boldly. They understand deeply the wisdom Hill shared. Do not wait. The time will never be just right. Start where you stand and work with whatever tools you have, because they know the greatest enemy to progress is delay. Poor people fill their minds with negative talk, self-doubt, and destructive beliefs. They speak limitation over their lives, echoing words like, "I can't," "It's impossible," "I'll never succeed." Their words become the cages that trap them, the chains that hold them back. But the wealthy know that words are commands given directly to the subconscious mind. They choose their language carefully, deliberately, powerfully. They speak possibility, strength, and abundance into existence. Edison failed thousands of times, yet never declared himself a failure. Instead, he famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His words framed failure as progress, mistakes as education, setbacks as stepping stones. This wasn't optimism, it was intentional, strategic thinking designed to shape reality. Poor people live for immediate gratification. They trade long-term dreams for short-term comfort. They sacrifice tomorrow's abundance for today's fleeting pleasures. But the rich practice delayed gratification. They embrace discipline and sacrifice comfort now to create extraordinary results later. Andrew Carnegie, who built an empire from poverty, understood this clearly. He sacrificed momentary ease for relentless effort, knowing clearly that great wealth and achievement demanded it. Poor people avoid discomfort, pain, and uncertainty at all costs. They seek security and comfort, often at the expense of growth and progress. But the wealthy step boldly into the unknown. They recognize discomfort as growth, pain as strength, uncertainty as opportunity. They understand that the only real security in life is the security they build through consistent, courageous action. Lincoln didn't seek comfort when faced with a nation divided. He embraced discomfort, moved toward uncertainty, faced extraordinary adversity, because he understood that greatness demands it. Disney didn't cling to safety when banks rejected his visions. He stepped boldly into uncertainty, and his courage built kingdoms. Tonight you stand at a crossroads. On one side lies the familiar comfort of blame, delay, negativity, instant gratification, and fear. On the other side, a path illuminated by responsibility, decisiveness, positive thinking, discipline, and courage. You cannot walk both. You must choose. The path you choose tonight determines the life you wake up to tomorrow. Napoleon Hill's wisdom calls out to you clearly, urgently. Change your choices, and you will change your reality. Change your mindset, and you will shift your destiny. Change your habits, and you will rewrite your story. Tonight you understand clearly what poor people do that rich people never do. And tonight you make the life-changing decision to rise. Understand this clearly. Your mind is the most powerful force in the universe. It can create vast wealth or devastating poverty, extraordinary success or heartbreaking failure. It is not luck, chance, or fate. It is the conscious or unconscious use of this power within you. Napoleon Hill's words echo like thunder through history. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. The poor conceive limitation. The wealthy conceive possibility. The poor focus on problems. The wealthy focus on solutions. The poor imagine worst-case scenarios. The wealthy visualize their greatest achievements vividly, passionately, relentlessly. Your vision shapes your reality, not just casually, not passively, but definitively. Your thoughts mold the fabric of your life as surely as a sculptor molds clay. The wealthy don't just dream, they dream with purpose, with clarity, with absolute certainty that their dreams are achievable. Poor minds wander aimlessly. They drift from thought to thought, never anchoring long enough to build something lasting. They focus on what they lack, what they fear, and what could go wrong. Their mental garden is filled with weeds, unattended thoughts growing wild, choking out opportunity and potential. But the wealthy mind is a garden meticulously tended. They plant seeds of abundance, nurture them daily, protect them fiercely from negativity. Their vision is clear, precise, powerful. They see vividly where they are going and hold that vision consistently, regardless of circumstances, setbacks, or criticism. When Henry Ford first envisioned the automobile assembly line, the world laughed at him. Critics and experts called it foolish and impossible. But Ford didn't waver because he had already seen the future clearly in his mind. His vision was so compelling, so vivid, that reality had no choice but to surrender to his determination. The wealthy create their future in their mind long before it manifests in reality. They shape it with disciplined visualization, rehearse it daily, feel it deeply. Edison saw electric light illuminating homes long before it ever did. Carnegie saw steel transforming skylines before the first skyscraper rose. They understood clearly the secret that your subconscious mind makes no distinction between imagination and reality. Tonight, begin shaping your future vividly, deliberately, purposefully. See yourself successful. See yourself abundant. See yourself as the person you truly desire to become. Feel the pride, the joy, the gratitude of achievement. Let those emotions anchor your vision deeply into your subconscious mind. This isn't wishful thinking. It's precise, intentional mental architecture. The poor leave their subconscious mind to chance, allowing it to absorb whatever negativity the world throws at it. But the wealthy guard their subconscious fiercely, filling it with purposeful, powerful thoughts of possibility and success. Your mind is always creating. It never stops. It listens to your thoughts, your beliefs, your words, your feelings. What you feed it consistently, it manifests inevitably. Negative input creates negative outcomes. Positive input creates extraordinary results. It is law, not luck. Poor minds wait for external validation. They wait for permission, approval, assurance from the world around them. They hesitate, second guess, and stall until their dreams wither and die. But wealthy minds never wait. They validate themselves internally. Their approval comes from within. Their permission comes from their own conviction. Their certainty is unshakable, unwavering, unstoppable. Lincoln did not wait for approval when the world seemed divided against him. He stood firm on his vision of freedom and unity, guided by internal certainty. Walt Disney didn't wait for permission to build his kingdom of imagination. He believed in it so passionately, so deeply, that his inner conviction became reality. Tonight, give yourself that same unshakable permission. Approve yourself. Validate your vision. Trust in your inner voice above all external doubt and criticism. Your dreams don't require permission. They require your belief. Your future doesn't depend on approval. It depends on your internal certainty and courage. Poor minds surrender their power to circumstances. They become victims of external events, drifting through life as passengers rather than pilots. Wealthy minds refuse victimhood. They pilot their destiny boldly, steering through storms with clarity, strength, and purpose. Tonight, reclaim your power. Declare with conviction, I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Let these words resonate deeply within your mind and heart. Your circumstances do not define you. Your response to them does. Your past does not control your future. Your choices in this moment do. Napoleon Hill's wisdom pierces through the fog of doubt clearly. Every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. The wealthy find those seeds. They nurture them, cultivate them, and grow triumph from tragedy. They see setbacks clearly as setups for greater success. Tonight, shift your mindset permanently from limitation to abundance, from victimhood to victory, from uncertainty to clarity, because your mind is the single greatest asset you possess. Protect it fiercely, feed it wisely, guide it deliberately. You are one thought away from changing your life forever. The wealthy do not live their lives randomly, drifting wherever the winds of chance may blow. They move through the world driven by purpose, guided by discipline, and propelled by relentless action. Poor minds wander through life without a clear direction, hoping things will somehow work out. But hope is not a strategy. Purpose is. Purpose isn't something vague or abstract. It is clarity set on fire. It's your North Star, your compass, your unwavering guide through storms and setbacks. Napoleon Hill spoke about a definite chief aim, the single burning desire that ignites all successful people. Without it, life is chaos. With it, life becomes a powerful, focused journey toward greatness. Look at Andrew Carnegie, a boy born into poverty who rose to become one of the wealthiest men on earth. Carnegie didn't achieve this by luck. He did it by purpose. He moved with clarity. Every action he took was guided by his chief aim, to create immense wealth, then share it generously to elevate humanity. His purpose was crystal clear, precise, powerful, and disciplined. Ask yourself, what is your purpose? What burning desire lights your soul on fire? What vision wakes you up early, keeps you awake late, and makes your heart beat faster? Because if you do not know it clearly, you are already losing ground. Purpose gives you strength in hardship, clarity in confusion, and resilience in adversity. The poor allow their lives to be defined by circumstance and comfort. They allow distractions to dictate their day. They lose themselves in meaningless pursuits, wandering aimlessly through life until their dreams fade quietly into regret. The wealthy refuse to live like this. Their days are structured, disciplined, purposeful. They control their focus fiercely, eliminating distractions, resisting temptations, and delaying gratification because their purpose demands it. Discipline isn't punishment, it's freedom. It frees you from chaos, from indecision, from procrastination. Discipline creates habits, and habits create success. Discipline is the bridge between your purpose and its fulfillment. Poor people reject discipline because it feels restrictive, demanding, uncomfortable. Rich people embrace it precisely because it demands excellence and delivers results. Edison understood discipline deeply. He would lock himself in his lab, isolating himself from distractions, tirelessly experimenting until breakthroughs emerged. His discipline wasn't a sacrifice. It was an investment in greatness. It was a commitment to his purpose. Discipline is the silent strength of the successful. It's what you do consistently, relentlessly, when nobody else is watching. Action transforms potential into power. Poor minds drown in information yet never act. They endlessly prepare, wait, and analyze, but never execute. Rich minds execute swiftly, decisively, powerfully. They understand clearly the secret of momentum. Action creates clarity. Clarity builds confidence, and confidence fuels more action. Walt Disney didn't wait for guarantees before taking action. He started before he was ready, acted despite uncertainty, built even when the outcome was unclear. His empire wasn't born of perfect timing. It was born of relentless action. Lincoln didn't hesitate amidst chaos. He moved decisively, acting boldly toward unity and freedom. Your greatest dreams, your highest purpose, they depend entirely on your willingness to act. Action is the language of achievement. It's the bridge between vision and reality. Poor people fear mistakes, so they hesitate endlessly. Rich people embrace mistakes as teachers, so they act without fear. Mistakes aren't setbacks, they're stepping stones toward greatness. Napoleon Hill spoke clearly. Action is the real measure of intelligence. True wisdom isn't knowing, it's doing. The wealthy act because they understand that waiting for the perfect moment means waiting forever. Your purpose demands action now, not tomorrow. Your dreams require execution today, not someday. Tonight, commit to relentless, courageous, disciplined action. Move forward even if you're unsure. Progress boldly even if your path isn't fully clear. Because action is clarity. Action reveals your next step, illuminates your path, builds momentum. Action transforms your dreams into tangible reality. Purpose, discipline, action. These are the foundations upon which every great empire was built. These are the habits rich people cultivate daily, fiercely, relentlessly. They guard their purpose from distractions. They nurture discipline into habit. They convert dreams into reality through relentless action. You must live these principles clearly every day, not occasionally. You must protect your purpose fiercely, not casually. You must discipline your habits intentionally, not sporadically. You must act courageously, decisively, without hesitation or doubt. When your purpose becomes crystal clear, your discipline unwavering, your actions relentless, wealth becomes inevitable. Success isn't a possibility, it's a certainty. Poverty and scarcity fade from your reality. Limitation and doubt vanish. What remains is abundance, achievement, and greatness. Tonight, choose this path clearly and decisively. Embrace purpose, master discipline, and commit to unstoppable action. Because this is the path from poverty to wealth, from scarcity to abundance, from limitation to limitless possibility. This is the path wealthy minds never abandon. This is the path that changes everything forever. But understand this, wealth and success are not purely external achievements. They are born from internal abundance, gratitude, adaptability, resilience, and relentless learning. The wealthy understand deeply that true riches begin within, and the poor often miss this crucial truth. They chase external results without cultivating inner strength, losing the very foundation required for lasting success. Gratitude is the hidden fuel of abundance. The poor complain about what they lack, what isn't fair, what's missing. They focus their minds entirely on scarcity and limitation. But the wealthy shift their focus powerfully to gratitude, recognizing clearly the abundance already present in their lives. Gratitude amplifies abundance. Gratitude attracts opportunities. Gratitude shifts your energy from lack to limitless possibility. The great industrialist Andrew Carnegie, who began his journey in humble poverty, always emphasized gratitude. He believed sincerely that his wealth wasn't created solely from steel or industry, but from profound gratitude for every opportunity, every lesson, every setback. Carnegie understood that gratitude is a magnet for wealth, success, and opportunity. Tonight, shift your perspective deliberately to gratitude. Recognize clearly what you already have, celebrate your blessings, and you'll attract more of what you deeply appreciate. Adaptability separates the rich from the poor decisively. Poor minds resist change. They cling desperately to the familiar, afraid of uncertainty, afraid of losing control. The wealthy welcome change confidently. They adapt swiftly, fluidly, intelligently. They know clearly that growth demands change, and change demands adaptability. Your ability to pivot, adjust, and evolve determines your future. Look at Thomas Edison, who adapted relentlessly through thousands of failed experiments. He didn't stubbornly cling to his first idea. He evolved, learned, adapted. Every attempt taught him something new, moving him closer to his goal. Edison succeeded not simply because he was a genius, but because he mastered adaptability. He embraced change, knowing clearly that the only constant in life is change itself. Tonight, embrace adaptability deeply. Understand clearly that your ability to thrive is directly linked to your willingness to evolve. Be willing to pivot, adjust, and refine your strategies. Welcome change with courage and curiosity. Let go of rigid thinking and stagnant beliefs. The wealthy adapt swiftly, decisively, fluidly. So must you. Resilience is the quiet strength of the truly wealthy. It is the power to rise again and again, no matter how many times you fall. Poor minds crumble at setbacks. They see failure as defeat, rejection as permanent, and disappointment as final. But wealthy minds interpret adversity differently. They see setbacks as setups, failures as feedback, disappointments as opportunities for growth. Abraham Lincoln's life was defined by resilience. He endured devastating losses, crushing defeats, and relentless criticism. Yet Lincoln always rose again, stronger, wiser, more determined. He never allowed adversity to define him. Instead, he defined himself through his resilience. He understood clearly that the only true defeat is giving up. Tonight, embrace resilience as your inner ally. Let every setback fuel your determination, every disappointment strengthen your resolve, every rejection sharpen your vision. Your ability to rise after falling determines your ultimate success. Resilience isn't optional, it's essential. Cultivate it daily, nurture it fiercely, guard it relentlessly. Learning is the eternal habit of the wealthy. Poor minds resist learning. They believe falsely that they know enough, that education ends with school, that personal growth isn't necessary. Wealthy minds, however, are relentless learners. They understand clearly that learning never ends, that every day offers lessons, opportunities, and wisdom to be absorbed. They never stop evolving intellectually, spiritually, emotionally. Henry Ford never stopped learning. Though he lacked formal education, he surrounded himself with intelligent minds, absorbing knowledge tirelessly. He understood clearly that the wealthiest minds are perpetual students. Ford said, "Anyone who stops learning is old, whether at 20 or 80. Anyone who keeps learning stays young." Wealth is born from constant learning, continuous growth, endless curiosity. Tonight, commit yourself deeply to lifelong learning. Understand clearly that your education is never complete. Open your mind deliberately to new ideas, insights, and wisdom. Read voraciously. Listen attentively. Observe carefully. Every experience, every person, every moment holds lessons for those willing to learn. Gratitude, adaptability, resilience, relentless learning, these are internal riches that create external abundance. These qualities separate poverty from prosperity decisively. The wealthy cultivate them consistently, deliberately, and fiercely. You must do the same. Begin cultivating gratitude daily. Adapt swiftly to change. Rise resiliently after every setback. Learn tirelessly throughout your life. These habits are the true foundations of wealth. They're the inner strengths that support external success. Tonight, embrace these truths clearly and decisively. Integrate them deeply into your life. because when your internal world transforms, your external world inevitably follows. Your mind shapes your destiny. Your habits shape your future. Your inner wealth creates external abundance. Make no mistake, becoming wealthy isn't accidental. It's intentional. It's created deliberately by gratitude, adaptability, resilience, and relentless learning. This is Napoleon Hill's timeless wisdom, the clear, decisive path from poverty to prosperity, the path the wealthy never abandon, the path that tonight you finally embrace fully and permanently. But true wealth, lasting wealth, is more than just what you accumulate externally. It's who you become internally. The person you must become to attract abundance, to build success, to sustain greatness, is far more valuable than money itself. Wealth is merely the reflection of who you have chosen to be consistently, daily, relentlessly. Poor minds look outward, waiting for circumstances to change. They wait for the economy, the market, the opportunities, or the people around them to shift. They hope things will improve. They wish for better days, but they never truly step into the responsibility required to transform their reality. Rich minds look inward because they understand clearly the fundamental truth that wealth is an inside job. It begins and ends with personal responsibility. The wealthy take full responsibility for their lives, their results, their circumstances. No exceptions, no excuses, no blaming. They see clearly that responsibility is not a burden but a powerful privilege, the key that unlocks every door to abundance and achievement. Napoleon Hill made this abundantly clear. You are the master of your destiny. You can influence, direct, and control your own environment. You can make your life what you want it to be. Understand clearly that every wealthy individual throughout history embraced full, complete, absolute responsibility for their success. Responsibility means you no longer blame the world for your struggles. You no longer wait passively for circumstances to change. You no longer allow excuses to control your decisions. Responsibility means you accept deeply that your future is shaped entirely by your choices, your beliefs, your habits. Thomas Edison never blamed circumstances for his setbacks. He took complete responsibility for every failure, every attempt, every experiment. He saw clearly that true success emerges only from complete ownership of your outcomes. His ownership was absolute, his responsibility unwavering, and his success inevitable. Tonight, reclaim that same power clearly. Take absolute ownership of your life, your thoughts, your choices, your actions, your results. Accept no excuses from yourself. Demand more from yourself than anyone else ever could. Responsibility isn't just about holding yourself accountable. It's about setting yourself free from the chains of circumstance. Your mindset shapes your reality more decisively than anything else. Poor minds choose a victim mindset. They believe the world is unfair, opportunities are limited, and success is reserved only for the lucky few. This mindset creates a prison, a mental cage that traps potential, stifles growth, and extinguishes dreams. Rich minds embrace the mindset of creators, achievers, leaders. They believe clearly that success is abundant, opportunities infinite, and possibilities limitless. They see clearly that the universe responds to belief, aligns with intention, and rewards those who approach life with unwavering positivity and certainty. Walt Disney never accepted limitation. He saw clearly a world of endless possibilities where imagination had no boundaries. He built his kingdom of creativity on the foundation of a powerful, expansive, limitless mindset. His wealth and impact flowed directly from the beliefs he held fiercely, passionately, and consistently. Your mindset determines your boundaries. Your beliefs set your limits or remove them completely. Tonight, choose the mindset of abundance. Choose beliefs that empower you, strengthen you, inspire you. Understand clearly that the universe responds directly to the energy you radiate. Shift your energy and you shift your reality. Poor minds fixate on scarcity, believing deeply that resources are limited, that there's not enough to go around. This mindset breeds fear, envy, competition, and desperation. But the wealthy understand clearly that scarcity is an illusion. They believe deeply in abundance, generosity, collaboration, and limitless possibility. Andrew Carnegie became one of history's wealthiest individuals precisely because he saw clearly the truth of abundance. He gave away nearly his entire fortune, understanding profoundly that wealth flows through generosity, not hoarding. Abundance expands when shared. Wealth multiplies when freely given. Tonight, shift clearly from scarcity to abundance. See the world as limitless, generous, collaborative. Understand clearly that wealth is not finite. It expands endlessly for those who cultivate abundance in their thoughts, actions, and relationships. True wealth isn't accumulated through selfishness, but through generosity, collaboration, and purposeful contribution. You must live and breathe abundance clearly, passionately, decisively. Become a person who shares freely, gives generously, collaborates openly. Your wealth multiplies precisely because you understand clearly that abundance is infinite. The more you share, the more you receive. Tonight you step fully into responsibility, mindset mastery, and abundant thinking. These truths are not merely philosophical ideas, they're practical principles that change your life permanently. Your reality shifts the moment you embrace absolute responsibility. Your opportunities multiply when you adopt the mindset of a creator. Your abundance expands dramatically when you reject scarcity and embrace limitless generosity. This is Napoleon Hill's harsh yet liberating truth. Poverty or wealth, scarcity or abundance, limitation or possibility, they're all determined clearly by your choices, your mindset, your habits. Choose clearly tonight. Take responsibility fully. Embrace abundance completely, because your life, your wealth, your success depend decisively on the beliefs you nurture, the responsibility you accept, and the abundance you create within yourself. Vision isn't just what you see, it's what you become. Your vision shapes your decisions, your actions, your life. Poor minds have limited vision. They see only what's directly in front of them, unable to imagine possibilities beyond immediate circumstances. But wealthy minds possess expansive vision, seeing not just what's possible today, but what's achievable tomorrow and far beyond. Vision is powerful because it pulls you forward. It gives your daily actions purpose. But wealthy minds possess persieds the chakrali. But tenzo minds to purpose mounting in that it's menstratio frebens and fadins pertes. Napoleon Hill understood that vision must be compelling, magnetic, powerful enough to guide you through setbacks, disappointment, and doubt. Vision is the force that transforms ordinary people into extraordinary leaders, dreamers into achievers, setbacks into stepping stones. Henry Ford saw a world with roads filled with automobiles long before the first car rolled off his assembly line. The critics doubted, competitors laughed, but his vision was stronger, clearer, more compelling than any external obstacle. Ford's vision drove every decision, every innovation, every bold move he made. His ability to see clearly into the future turned impossibility into reality. Tonight, your own vision must be equally powerful. You must see your future vividly, clearly, passionately. Imagine the person you want to become. Visualize the life you wish to create. Feel it deeply. Let your vision be so compelling, so clear, that it ignites action within you every single day. Your vision must outlast fear, outshine doubt, overpower uncertainty. But vision alone is not enough. Vision without belief is merely fantasy. You must believe deeply, unwaveringly, passionately in your vision. Poor minds entertain visions casually, as if they were mere wishes. Rich minds commit themselves fully, investing their entire being into their vision. Their belief is so strong, so certain, so absolute that reality must yield. Belief is the bridge between your vision and reality. It's the internal conviction that guides your external actions. Edison's belief was so strong that he pursued his inventions relentlessly through thousands of failures. He saw clearly, believed unwaveringly, and reality surrendered to his determination. Tonight, cultivate that same level of belief within yourself. Understand clearly that your vision is achievable, no matter how ambitious, how improbable, how distant it seems today. Commit yourself fully to this belief. Nurture it daily, protect it fiercely, express it passionately. When your belief becomes unwavering, reality shifts to align with your vision. The poor lack determination because they fear setbacks, criticism, and failure. Wealthy minds embrace determination precisely because they understand clearly that success is only achieved through relentless persistence. Determination means you refuse to stop, refuse to surrender, refuse to compromise your vision. It's the fire that keeps you going when everything else urges you to quit. Lincoln's determination preserved a nation. Despite devastating losses, relentless criticism, and seemingly insurmountable challenges, he never wavered from his purpose. His determination was stronger than fear, stronger than doubt, stronger than adversity. He understood clearly that determination is the quiet strength behind every great achievement. Tonight, make your own determination unshakable. Decide clearly that quitting is no longer an option. Decide clearly that your dreams matter more than comfort, more than criticism, more than temporary setbacks. Become unstoppable, unwavering, relentless. Your determination must be so powerful, so deeply rooted, that nothing external can disrupt your internal resolve. Poor minds seek shortcuts. They hope for quick fixes, overnight success, instant wealth. But rich minds understand clearly that greatness is a long-term commitment. Wealth is built through consistent effort, persistent discipline, daily improvement. True wealth demands patience, perseverance, long-term vision. Andrew Carnegie built an empire not through shortcuts, but through relentless dedication, consistent progress, tireless effort over many years. He understood clearly that true wealth demands patience, persistence, relentless consistency. The greatest wealth builders never chase quick wins. They invest patiently in their vision, steadily growing their success day by day. Tonight, commit yourself to patient progress. Embrace clearly the long-term nature of true wealth creation. Be relentless, be patient, be consistent. Understand clearly that every small action matters, every daily habit contributes, every disciplined choice compounds over time. Your wealth is built incrementally, steadily, powerfully, never overnight, never by accident, always by intention. The wealthiest minds embody patience, determination, vision, and belief. They live these qualities daily, consistently, powerfully. They never abandon their vision, never compromise their belief, never diminish their determination. They remain patient, disciplined, focused no matter how long their journey, no matter how challenging their obstacles. Tonight you must become one of them. You must embrace clearly this powerful truth. Your external wealth is a direct reflection of your internal commitment. The life you envision, the wealth you desire, the success you crave, all depend entirely on your internal choices, your beliefs, your determination, your relentless patience. Napoleon Hill spoke clearly. Set your mind on a definite goal and observe how quickly the world stands aside to let you pass. Tonight, set your mind definitively. Decide clearly who you will become, what you will create, how you will live. Your external reality is determined by internal clarity, unwavering belief, relentless determination, patient consistency. Tonight, you embrace these truths fully. Tonight, your life begins anew. Tonight, your future shifts decisively toward abundance, greatness, and wealth. True wealth demands a level of courage that most people never summon. Poor minds hide from fear, retreat from risk, shrink from challenge. They live their lives quietly, avoiding discomfort, hoping never to experience failure. But wealthy minds understand clearly that courage isn't optional, it's essential. Courage is the key that unlocks every door to abundance, achievement, and greatness. Every great fortune, every significant achievement throughout history required immense courage. Napoleon Hill understood clearly that courage isn't the absence of fear, it's acting decisively despite it. Courage means moving forward boldly even when your heart races, your hands tremble, your mind whispers doubt. Courage means stepping into uncertainty, embracing risk, confronting fear head-on. Look at Walt Disney, who faced financial ruin again and again. When critics dismissed his vision, when banks rejected his ideas, when everyone around him doubted, Disney's courage held firm. He took risks most would never dare, acted boldly where others hesitated, moved decisively into uncertainty. Disney built a kingdom because courage was his foundation, his compass, his unwavering guide. Tonight, embrace that same level of courage within yourself. Recognize clearly that fear is not your enemy, inaction is. Understand deeply that your dreams lie on the other side of your fears. Your success demands courageous action, bold decisions, fearless persistence. Refuse to hide any longer. Step forward boldly, confidently, powerfully. Wealth rewards the courageous. Poor minds refuse to embrace discomfort. They avoid anything challenging, anything difficult, anything outside their comfort zone. Comfort feels safe, familiar, secure. But comfort is a silent thief, robbing potential, stealing opportunity, preventing growth. Wealthy minds reject comfort deliberately. They seek out challenges, embrace discomfort, knowing clearly that growth demands it. Thomas Edison never found success in comfort. He spent countless sleepless nights, endless exhausting hours in his laboratory. Failure after failure, discomfort after discomfort, but he refused to seek comfort. He embraced discomfort deliberately, knowing clearly that every uncomfortable moment brought him closer to success. Edison knew greatness demands temporary sacrifice, persistent discomfort, and relentless effort. Tonight, reject comfort intentionally. Seek growth deliberately. Embrace challenge willingly. Pursue discomfort decisively. Your greatest achievements, your greatest potential, your greatest success, these lie clearly outside your comfort zone. Move boldly toward uncertainty. Welcome difficulty as your greatest teacher, discomfort as your greatest ally. Refuse to settle for comfort at the expense of greatness. Rich minds understand clearly the power of their environment. They carefully cultivate surroundings that uplift them, inspire them, challenge them. They surround themselves intentionally with like-minded individuals, positive, driven, ambitious people. Poor minds fail to understand this critical principle. They surround themselves with negativity, mediocrity, limitation. Your environment shapes your reality decisively. Andrew Carnegie built his success by consciously choosing his associates. He surrounded himself exclusively with talented, intelligent, ambitious people who challenged him, inspired him, elevated his thinking. Carnegie understood deeply that your associations influence your destiny. Your environment either lifts you higher or holds you back. Choose carefully. Tonight, commit yourself deeply to choosing your associations wisely. Seek out people who inspire you, uplift you, challenge you. Surround yourself intentionally with positive, successful, driven individuals. Limit your exposure deliberately to negativity, mediocrity, and limitation. Your environment shapes your mindset, your habits, your beliefs. Control it deliberately. Rich minds value their time fiercely. They guard it like gold, use it deliberately, manage it intentionally. Poor minds squander their time carelessly, wasting precious moments on meaningless pursuits, pointless distractions, unproductive activities. The wealthy know clearly that time is their most valuable resource. They refuse to waste it because every minute wasted is potential wealth, success, opportunity lost forever. Henry Ford understood clearly that time management equals life management. He structured every hour deliberately, meticulously, relentlessly, ensuring maximum productivity, effectiveness, growth. Ford guarded his time fiercely, understanding profoundly that every minute used intentionally builds wealth, creates opportunity, defines destiny. Tonight, commit yourself fully to managing your time deliberately, eliminate distractions ruthlessly, structure your day intentionally, prioritize clearly what matters most, refuse to squander another moment carelessly. Your time creates your wealth, your discipline shapes your destiny. Use each minute wisely, fiercely, intentionally. The wealthiest minds know deeply the power of habits. They build success deliberately through disciplined repetition, consistent action, relentless routines. Poor minds reject habits. They live randomly, inconsistently, reacting passively to circumstances. But rich minds embrace habits clearly, knowing that disciplined repetition creates lasting success. Napoleon Hill said clearly, "We are what we repeatedly do." Understand deeply the immense power of your daily habits. Your actions today shape your future tomorrow. Discipline yourself intentionally. Build routines deliberately. Consistency creates excellence. Repetition creates mastery. Tonight, commit yourself completely to habits of excellence. Discipline your mornings deliberately. Structure your days intentionally. Practice habits consistently. Your success, your wealth, your future, they depend entirely on your daily routines, your disciplined actions, your consistent repetition. Courage, embracing discomfort, controlling your environment, managing time wisely, and mastering disciplined habits. These principles form the backbone of true wealth. They separate the rich from the poor decisively. Tonight, you choose clearly the habits of abundance. You step forward courageously. You embrace discomfort intentionally. You control your environment deliberately. You manage your time fiercely. You practice disciplined habits consistently. Tonight, you embody the mindset, habits, and courage of the truly wealthy, forever changing your reality, permanently shaping your destiny. The harshest truth Napoleon Hill uncovered is this: wealth is a choice, a deliberate, intentional, powerful choice you must make every single day. Poverty is also a choice, often made unconsciously, unknowingly, but a choice nonetheless. Every decision you make either moves you toward abundance or toward scarcity. The wealthy understand this clearly. They choose deliberately, purposefully, intentionally every single day. Poor minds drift through life without intentionality. They make choices based on impulse, emotion, habit, or convenience. But wealthy minds choose consciously, deliberately, aligning every decision with their ultimate vision. Their choices reflect clearly their purpose, their goals, their commitment. They live intentionally, deliberately, powerfully. Lincoln made conscious choices daily to preserve a nation. Edison made intentional choices daily to innovate tirelessly. Carnegie chose deliberately each day to create wealth and impact. Their lives weren't shaped by chance, but by intentional choices consistently aligned with their vision. Tonight, commit yourself to intentional living. Choose deliberately, thoughtfully, powerfully. Align every decision clearly with your purpose. Understand deeply that small daily choices compound dramatically over time. Every choice you make either moves you closer to or further from wealth and abundance. Choose consciously, consistently, deliberately. The wealthy also possess immense emotional mastery. Poor minds allow their emotions to control them. They react impulsively, surrendering their decisions to temporary feelings. But wealthy minds master their emotions deliberately. They feel deeply but decide rationally. They experience fear, doubt, uncertainty, but act powerfully despite them. Emotional mastery creates resilience, decisiveness, inner strength. Napoleon Hill taught clearly that success demands controlling your emotions rather than allowing them to control you. Edison felt frustration with each failed experiment, but he never let emotion deter him. Carnegie faced immense pressure and stress, but he refused to be ruled by temporary feelings. Their emotional mastery allowed them to remain focused, disciplined, relentless through every setback. Tonight, master your emotions decisively. Understand clearly that feelings are temporary, but your vision is permanent. Feel deeply, but choose deliberately. Act powerfully despite fear, doubt, uncertainty. Emotional mastery isn't suppression, it's intelligent control. Your emotions guide you, but they must never control you. The wealthy embrace accountability decisively. Poor minds avoid accountability, hiding from responsibility, denying mistakes, making excuses. But rich minds hold themselves accountable powerfully, accepting complete responsibility for their outcomes. Accountability is the foundation of growth, improvement, excellence. It transforms setbacks into lessons, mistakes into opportunities, failures into stepping stones. Ford accepted accountability openly, learning relentlessly from every setback. He never hid from mistakes or blamed others. He embraced accountability decisively, knowing clearly it was essential for growth. Accountability creates strength, clarity, continuous improvement. Tonight, embrace accountability powerfully. Accept your outcomes fully. Learn relentlessly from every setback. Reject excuses decisively. Understand clearly that accountability isn't weakness. It's profound strength. It drives improvement, sharpens focus, deepens resilience. The wealthy value self-education fiercely. Poor minds believe education ends with school. They stop learning, stop growing, stop evolving. But wealthy minds embrace lifelong learning decisively, educating themselves continuously, seeking wisdom tirelessly. Self-education creates empowerment, innovation, endless growth. Carnegie was a relentless self-educator, absorbing knowledge tirelessly, seeking wisdom continuously. Lincoln, with little formal schooling, educated himself relentlessly, learning voraciously, constantly evolving. Self-education was their greatest asset, the cornerstone of their success. Tonight, commit yourself fiercely to lifelong learning. Educate yourself tirelessly. Seek wisdom deliberately. Never stop evolving intellectually, emotionally, spiritually. Understand clearly that education is your greatest asset, your most powerful resource. Empower yourself continuously, relentlessly, decisively through self-education. Finally, the wealthy cultivate internal strength decisively. Poor minds surrender to external challenges, giving up easily, quitting quickly. But wealthy minds possess powerful internal resilience. They endure setbacks, persist through hardship, rise above adversity. Internal strength creates unstoppable momentum, relentless persistence, unwavering resolve. Lincoln cultivated immense internal strength through unimaginable trials. Edison built internal resilience through relentless failure. Their external success emerged directly from internal strength, resilience, determination. Tonight, cultivate your internal strength deliberately. Refuse to quit, refuse to surrender, refuse to break. Understand clearly that external success demands internal resilience. Endure decisively, persist relentlessly, rise powerfully from every setback. Your internal strength determines your external achievements. Wealth isn't random, it's intentional. Poverty isn't accidental, it's habitual. Tonight you embrace deliberately the mindset, choices, habits, and internal strength of true wealth. Tonight you choose intentionality powerfully, master emotions decisively, embrace accountability openly, pursue lifelong education relentlessly, cultivate internal strength fiercely. These principles, understood deeply and practiced relentlessly, create inevitable success. They form the powerful foundation of true wealth. They separate decisively those who remain poor from those who become wealthy. Tonight you fully commit yourself clearly to these timeless truths. Tonight you decisively reshape your habits, your choices, your mindset. Tonight you step powerfully into abundance, greatness, and wealth.